Hey guys, Bob with Million Mile Garage. Got the Maxima in the garage today. The weather's really bad. I'm going to take a break from working on the Mustang, the 331 stroker. And you can't see it here probably. There's a crack right here on the top of this plastic radiator. And it sprayed antifreeze all over the engine compartment. And we only drove it like 2 miles yesterday after topping it off. And it's already basically almost emptied the tank. So I have to deal with this today. I guess that's kind of why things like this sit for 15 years, right? Because the daily drivers that were reliable have now become the project cars. I think I'm gonna have to do something about that pretty soon. But anyway, for anyone who's never changed out a radiator on a Maxima, it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna show you the steps real quick. I have to remove this air intake. It's just got a couple of plastic fasteners here, and then it just lifts right out. It just actually lays in place right there. And then once this is out, I have access to the upper radiator hose clamp, which is underneath here. And then the fan, I've got the harness zip tied here and here, probably because the original fasteners are gone. And basically I have to unsnap the fan connector here and here, undo this harness here and here, and I'll flop the harness out of the way. And then I just have 2 screws, one here, and then the one's hidden by this intake. And this whole fan assembly will lift out of the way. And then I'll have access to the lower radiator hose clamp down there, as well as the 2 hoses, cooling hoses for the automatic transmission, which are down here. You can kind of barely see them snaking in and out there. That's the coolant hose for the transmission. There's a pair of them. And then I just take a screw out here, or bolt, or nut off here and here. These brackets lift off. You can actually just swivel them out of the way, and then the radiator comes right out. I've got a brand new Denso radiator, which may be exactly like the one this car was born with. This one's the original radiator. This is a 2000, I think it's a 2002. Can we see the year up here? Maybe. Oh yeah, right there at the bottom. 2002. It's 23 years old, and I've never had a radiator last, I don't know, 7 or 8 on any of this daily driver stuff that was the copper brass stuff that was supposed to be so great. But plastic radiator, my GTO lasted, I think it had 20,000 miles on it when the tank on it split in half as well. But I'm going to say that the good plastic and aluminum radiators, they're pretty good stuff. Rock Auto delivered me one for just under $100, and it's exactly like the one that's in it, so pretty cool. And that's about what I used to pay for the copper brass ones back in the day. When Pep Boys was actually an auto parts store, they would run specials back in the day, and you could get a new radiator on sale for like $89. That's probably one of them. It's been in there a long, long time. And of course, it's not a daily driver anymore, but when those were daily drivers, I was doing good if I got 5 or 6 years out of a radiator. More than likely, it was like 4 to 5. But anyway, I'll just spin all this stuff off. I'll show you a little bit as I go step by step. It's pretty straightforward. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the air intake off real quick. Usually just pop right off. I think I can just lift the air intake up with these little snaps on. It's just got like a little Phillips head screw dealio, and they usually just pop right out. Yeah, that one's ready to go. Let's pull this up a little more. There we go. Whoop. Just pop the screw out. That's nice. And this generally just lifts right out. Just gonna pull the hose out of the way. Got this out of the way. We'll just set it there for now. I'll find that little plastic Phillips head screw later. And then I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna go ahead and snip the zip ties on the harness here for the fan shroud. All right. And then if I can get these loose, I'll try. These can be pretty challenging, these little pinch connector dealios. Just grab it with my fingers. Sometimes I can get a little help with maybe a screwdriver, if it will allow it. I'll try pinching down here. Hey, here's how I do it. I'm just taking a screwdriver and going underneath the place where you'd hit with your thumb and push it right there. There's one of these tangs on both sides. This one is broken off on the other side, which is okay, but you'll need to do that on both sides to properly remove it. All right, got that one out of the way. This one's kind of at an awkward angle down here. And I can just kind of push it over here. There we go. That'll just come out. There we go. We got that out of the way. All right, so we got the harness kind of roll that out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna have to, forgot the upper hose has to come off before I can grab the fan out. But I really would rather just take the fan out before I remove the whole radiator. So I'm gonna, probably gonna have to lift the car here. I was gonna use the drain pan once I could get access down there. Let me grab my flashlight. I can't remember if I gotta take the splash pan off to get to the drain for the radiator or not. I thought it was down here. I'm just gonna reach down here and feel for it. Yep. Oh, that's nice. So they have a splash pan right underneath the drain, and there's nowhere for it to go. I should have drilled a hole in this thing, so I'm gonna have to actually lift the car up and get this plastic splash shield off before I can drain the radiator. That's kind of goofy. Oh well. Okay, just showing y'all 15 minutes later. You can see there's the drain for the radiator right there, but there's no hole for it. Where this lines up is right there where there's no hole. You'd think that was the drain hole, but it's not. It comes up and it covers the drain plug. See, there's no hole for it. This goes right underneath the drain. Pretty irritating. I think I may actually cut a hole right there, so the next time I just want to drain the radiator, I don't have to take this piece of plastic off. Kind of silly. All right, I'm trying to get this radiator to drain, but it keeps like forming like an air pocket even with the radiator cap on, so when it slacks off, I can just kind of pressurize it a little bit with my mouth. Try to keep it flowing. That's probably good enough. I can take the top radiator hose off. So I'll just come in here. I got these curved long tip pliers here that kind of double really nice as a radiator hose clamp remover, at least for the spring type, right? Let's see if that'll just twist off. Yep. Okay. All right, so that's out of the way. And then I'll just come in and I'll take these two fasteners off here. I'll probably have to get this, I'll need to disconnect on this hose as well. This is just the overflow hose. I can do that with my fingers. And that'll just pull off. I'll just tuck that out of the way for now. There we go. All right, got this harness out of the way. Okay, I'll just come in and take these two screws out. All right, I think this is a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna back these out. Okay, I can say I also got a transmission cooling hose hanging on down here. I'm gonna have to unhook that down here as well. That's not gonna let it come out. Ooh, oofta. Please let go. I think it's in there. That's gonna be a two-hander. All right. Yep. There we go. should just come out. Okay. Tell you what I'm probably going to have to do is undo this radiator bracket here so I can push the radiator forward, then I can get the fan right out. It should come out pretty easy. Probably a 10 millimeter as well. Yep, love when that happens. Undo that bracket. We'll just set this bracket out of the way, put the fastener back so we don't lose it. I'll go ahead and loose this one up over here as well. Set that one here. There we go. All right. Let's set this ratchet out of the way of the workbench so we don't lose it. All right, I should be able to just pull this fan out. Not a whole lot of drama. That hose is catching it down here again. Doesn't want to let go of it. There we go. At this point, it might have been easier just to take the whole thing out as one piece. This thing's not wanting to give it up. There we go. All right, just about got the fan. Okay. We got the fan out. Let's take a look what we got down below. All right, just showing you all this hose right here actually clamps onto the bottom of the fan shroud. And you see I got two cooling hoses here, and they're held on with those little spring clamps. So I'll have to get in there and get those undone. I'm thinking I can come down in there and get that one done with the shroud in place. That would be great. Although this radiator clamp down here looks like I'm probably going to have to take the other plastic shroud off to get to it, unfortunately. It's kind of a pain. But yeah, once I get that lower hose off, get the two cooling hoses off, the radiator comes right out, and that's all there is to it. Ooh, she's still draining. Wow. Getting close. Hey, just showing you all what I'm up against. I've got the other splash shield off, and you can see there's the spring clamp for the lower hose. Because these hoses are used, I'm always want to make sure that I put the spring clamp back in the exact same position it was before because of the way the hose gets distorted from the clamp. They have a tendency to leak if you don't put them back exactly where they were. So I'm going to have that splash shield off to be able to get that clamp off and get it back on. You can see if I can find it just to show y'all. Where is it? I'm trying to show you the, there it is. There's the clamp for one of the cooling lines for the transmission. So I need to have the splash shield off for access as that as well. So both of those got to come off. I'll probably put a clamp right behind it maybe so that it's not draining transmission fluid everywhere while we have the trans out. So basically there we are. We'll have this radiator out in like 5 minutes. All right, we got our lower hose off. We got our two cooling hoses off for the transmission. I got them clamped so they're not leaking fluid everywhere. I got this one tucked up out of the way. Basically, this is ready to come out. You should be able to just lift it right out. All right, let's lift this bad boy out. All right, a little bit of debris, nothing major. Well, 23 years of service, and what took it out was a cracked plastic tank. All right, here's the one that came from Rock Auto. It says Denso, upside down. Oh, sent me a mini magnet. That's nice. That'll look good on the refrigerator upstairs. Check this out. It looks really good. I'll roll it over. Okay, there's our There's our cooling inlets and outlets. We got our mounting tab for our cooling fan. And it looks like we have threaded inserts for the top of the cooling fan, which looks like is different than the radiator that's in it, because it uses self-tapping plastic screws. So that means I'm going to have to find probably metric screws to mount the top of the fan. And other than that, everything looks identical. All the inlets and outlets are in the same place, all that, everything looks the same to me. So I'm going to say we're good there. So I'll just have to scrounge up a couple of fasteners, and maybe I'm lucky, a couple of fasteners laying underneath the car. Maybe those are metric and I can go to Lowe's or O'Reilly's and I'll just get a couple of fasteners this morning. I'm tempted to also just basically lower it back into place with the fan on, because I think it'll work. Oh, you know what I forgot though? If the fan's in, that makes it really hard to get to the cooling lines from up top. Yeah, I'll probably have to do the same thing I did before. I'll drop the fan in afterwards, but yeah, it looks like everything lines up okay. At least I think it does. That doesn't look that lines up that great either. Maybe that's me. Looks like they got two different mounts. Okay. I guess it depends on what fan you got. Oh, there's an outer one. Oh, that's going to be a problem too, I think. Let's see. No, that'll line up. That'll be fine. Yep. Okay. I noticed the replacement one does have two different tab notches. So maybe it depends on the cooling fan you get. I don't know. They're open on the original one, but they have kind of two, well, you can see this right here. They got a separator right there. And then the other one is just open. Probably no big deal. It fit. But you see this one's just got a big window right here. It's a little different, but I think everything's going to line up and fit just fine. I just got to go chase down a couple of fasteners this morning. Hey, so I just grabbed one of the fasteners off the floor that holds the splash shield in place, and it threads in just fine. I thought I'm going to go run out to Lowe's, but guess what? Taped to the bottom of the box are the fan shroud fasteners. How about that? So I guess I don't have to take a trip to Lowe's. I guess if all else fails, make sure you look at the contents in the box. All right, before I lower it in, just because it's probably easier to do it here, I'll pull off these little dust caps. Set those right there. And then we'll just carefully lower this one into place. Should just drop right in. It's got two places. Oh, you know what? The rubber donuts aren't where they're supposed to be. They came out with the old radiator out of the, pulled them right out of the chassis, so I'm gonna have to go grab those real quick. Oops. All right, let's grab those real quick. Yeah, there's the donuts. They should just come right off. Yep. And then I'll stick those, the frame just receives them. I'll just stick those in the frame. I'll show you all real quick where they go. All right, there's one of the donuts. It's gonna go right down in here, just like that. We'll stick the other one in here real quick. All right, now we got our lower mounts in. Let's try this again. We'll set this bad boy down in here. Be real careful not to nick any of the cooling fins. That's just gonna sit right in there. It's gonna get received into those holes. Yep, it drops right in. To wiggle it, yep, it's in. So I'm going to go in and reattach all the hoses on the bottom first before I drop the fan shroud in. That'll make that a lot easier job. And then I've already got my hardware. That's great. So yeah, pretty straightforward job. And this Denso radiator looks exactly like the one that was in it. Yep. Okay. And the goal will be to crawl underneath and put that hose clamp back in the exact same spot it was in before. I'm going to go ahead and grab this transmission cooling line, and I'll come in here and slide it on as well. That should go right on. Yep. Okay. Grab the other one over here. Okay, our lines are on. I'll go in and I'll have to go in from underneath and probably get all this stuff set. All right, and just showing y'all, you know my channel's coming along good when I have this many fans. Mini fans, get it? Okay, let's carefully lower this in. I know this is the part where I kind of have to work for it a little bit. I have to fight with the radiator hose as I lower this in. Just like that. We'll get this to kind of slide over. Got to come over the water neck. All right, pull that radiator hose out of the way again. Okay. Now once I got this down here, I have to locate this in the right tang. Of course, I'm stuck on this as well right here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I can lower this in. I just got to find those locating tangs, which I think I just did. Nope, not quite. I think I need to go further out. Yep, okay. Oh yeah. See, I can't see the locating tab, unfortunately. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, there we go. That's in. Nothing like that sound of creaky plastic while you're trying to put this together. Oops, there we go, a little farther down. Get this one to go as well. Nope, doesn't want to go. I missed that one. Maybe I did. I think I missed that locator. Gotta be real careful not to break these mounting things. I think I got the rubber hose pinched underneath as well. It's always there trying to help out the cooling hose. Okay, I think I got this. Good grief. I think I'm actually stuck. That's nice. There we go. See if I can get it to go in now. Okay, there we go. They're both in. I just have to put my fasteners in. Yep, they're going in hand tight. That's a good sign. All right, get this one in as well. Having a little trouble getting this one to line up. There we go, got them in. Okay, now it's just a matter of wrapping the harness over, getting it underneath the cooling hose. I'll have to come in with a couple of zip ties and just reattach this in two strategic places to keep the harness out of harm's way from the exhaust manifold. Attach the upper radiator hose, put my 2 brackets back on right here, and we'll be good to go. Cool. And just showing y'all, I've got a hole right here. It might have been an original strap, and I'm just running a zip tie through here to hold the harness here, and then I got a spot here that I do it, and then I'm just coming in here. I can reattach the wiring harness for the 2 fans. That should go right in as well. Click, there we go. So the electrical's reattached. I just have to tighten up my brackets here. Just got 1 nut holding each one on here. And I gotta tighten these up as well. That's nice, they got threaded inserts. That's better than threading in the plastic. And then just put the upper radiator hose on, fill it up, start it, and then check it for leaks. All right, this probably gives you a better shot. This is where I'm always careful. You can actually see what I'm doing because it's right up top here. I basically need to get this clamp to lay exactly where it was before. In fact, I'll pull in just a little closer so y'all can see it. Show you what I mean. See if I can do this one-handed. You see right here, you can see the outline of where that hose clamp was. And I just try to come in and grab it and get it to line up exactly where it was before. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to come in and grab it from the other side. Let me come in right there. It's going to make it easier for me to do that. Oh, come on now. It's gonna play hard to get now that I'm filming. All right, there we go. Let's give that a good grab. We just want to bring that around, line it up. I have to come back in this way again. I just want that to come around and be exactly where it was, just like that. And that's pretty close. That's within a 1/16 of an inch or so. I just want to make sure that's grabbing it just right, because a lot of times if this isn't clocked right, you'll get a leak just because of the way the hose took a set. So, and these hoses really should be replaced. I just didn't think of it. I just wanted to get this radiator fixed so we don't melt an engine. Okay, pretty much mission accomplished. All right, that wasn't so bad. I still got to tighten these up. We'll get those tightened up. Yep. Get that harness. Make sure it stays out of the way. There we go. We'll do the same over here as well. There we go. I think I got her all done. Cool. Yeah, I got the car running. I'm just gonna wait until the thermostat opens and pulls this tank down a little farther. Then I'll get it warm. I'll put the cap on, pressurize everything, and I'll crawl underneath and check the leaks, make sure I got everything positioned right, make sure I don't have any hose leaks, that kind of stuff. Also make sure the radiator itself doesn't leak right. We're assuming it's good. Oh, just if y'all were wondering, this is a Denso 42306. It's got 221-3401. Almost looks like a phone number, doesn't it? Made in Taiwan. That's where the good plastic comes from. Yeah, I could top that off a little bit more, I guess. It's pretty close. I've added close to 5 quarts. So it's warm on this side of the tank and it's warm on this side. So I know it's opened up. Hopefully I've purged out any air that might have been in the block. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I might dump just a tad more in there, and then I'm going to put the cap on. We'll check it for leaks. Yeah, we'll just grab the cap. All right. We'll let that pressurize for a couple of minutes, and then I'll climb below and just make sure my lower hose isn't leaking. I doubt the upper one will leak. That one looks really good. See how we're doing temperature-wise. Yeah, she ain't working up much of a sweat in the garage here with the air off. We'll give it just a minute or two, make sure she got some pressure. Then I'll crawl underneath, make sure she's not leaking. All right, it's been a minute or two. Just looking at the tranny stuff. There's no tranny fluid leaking anywhere. Those look good. I can find the other one. I can see it, I'm just having trouble showing it to y'all. I don't see any drippies there. I think we're good there. Let's see how the hose is doing. I don't see any drips. I know this is just wet where I put it on. You can see it's wet right there where I squish it, but I don't see anything being forced out. Yeah, that's just still wet from what I put it on. I got that clamp position right about where it should be. So I don't think we're going to have any leaks here. I think we're okay. Yeah, looks good. Hey, just because I'm OCD, before I put this splash pan on, I've shut this thing off and let it hot soak. So I think we're good. Yep. By the way, I didn't notice this, but the drain is actually on the opposite side of the other radiator that was in it. So I'm wondering why that is, and I'm wondering if when I put the splash shield back on, if maybe this one was correct, and maybe I replaced the radiator at one time, or maybe it was replaced at one time and I don't remember. But let me grab the splash shield here. I didn't even notice that detail before. So if the splash shield's gonna go up here, I think it's gonna go up in here like this, like that. And look at that, son of a gun. You notice that's a blade style drain instead of the other one that was a thumb wheel. So I'm wondering, was this radiator replaced and I don't remember? Maybe. But I would say this Denso one would be probably pretty close to the one the car would have been born with, right? Anyway, I guess mystery solved there. I guess when you have stuff forever, you kind of forget after a while. But I'm going to say good. I got no leaks here. The radiator's not leaking. The hoses aren't leaking. That's good. I think we're all set. I'm going to button her up and I'm going to say, yep, she's good. All right, I found my little plastic Phillips head screw. That's nice, but never happens. Let's just, how do we get this thing in here? Just, oy vey. Okay, sure. All right, that's fine. Oh, okay. That was easy. Oop, lost the whole fastener this time. Great. Where could that thing have gone? I never really. Oh, no way. I'll take it. Oh yeah, good as new. Cool. Oh yeah, I think I earned me some slot car time today. I'm just gonna sit down and relax. I must have picked myself up and down off the floor 40 times today. Oh yeah. I gotta get up again. Son of a...